need y'all today for the 5 morning show. We get ready for the council meeting. Didn't think we were gonna have a quorum, but Ms. Edwards and Ms. Williams been here. And Deacon, I'd like to make a motion just walk through those. So we do have a quorum. So wait and see if anybody else gonna come in, y'all. So we ain't sure. Seems like it's gonna be a pretty good meeting tonight. Got some special guests in the bill. Wait. Get right here, Miss Teresa. John and Bill. All the regular people.
Good afternoon to everyone. Thanks to our citizens coming and joining in with us for our council meeting. And Mrs. Norwood is not able to be here. I don't know about Mr. Griffin. Possibly will come later, I don't know. But at this time, we are going to begin our council meeting for June the 9th, 2022, and the time is 5:36. You may begin with
the invitation and pledge of allegiance. Pastor Barbara York.
Good evening. Heavenly Father, we boldly come before your throne of mercy. Father, we come with a grateful heart and with a gentle heart. Father, as you have blessed this great city of Prichard to your campus. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Father, we plead blood Jesus over our city, Father. The blood is like a wall of fire, the enemy cannot penetrate. God, we pray for Mayor Doctor and all the staff. God, we pray for the members and all the city council that this be a meeting that is productive for the city of Prichard. We pray for the hurting, the lost. We pray for those that lost loved ones, the sick and the weak, God. We pray for the city. We thank you, Jesus. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
The water boy later finna come to the back door. And that dog.
Republic, of which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and
That she
justice
is, the
for all.
water boy lady. She just walked in.
Thank you.
before we begin on the issue, I would just like to do one or two rules to govern our meeting. Number one, only the person who signs the necessary form to come before the council will be allowed to speak. As I have stated before, it doesn't mean that you can't have someone to come and stand beside you and support you. Number two, that is important, you only will have 3 minutes to speak. This is inclusive of the city council members. If additional time is needed, the council would have a consent. The third important group, that no tolerance of defaming anyone's name, and that is for the citizens and also inclusive of the council. With that said, our resolution should be
Roll call. Councilor Eddie Williams.
Present.
Councilor Stephanie Johnson Norwood. Councilor Gary Griffin. Councilor George McCall.
Present.
Council President Osea Edwards.
present.
Madam President, you do have a forum. May I also note on your agenda this evening, item number 7, public hearing. This item was complete last week. Also, on item number 12, resolutions, advertising for bids, that item will be discussed in the discussion of the bid committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Adoption of minutes.
Have the council members had a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
I did, read over them on, page, I think it's page, hold on a second, let's see. is there, and the ordinance must be, the question that was asked by President Edwards about an ordinance having to be sent to the state legislature to be recorded. I guess they were asking if it was necessary for that to be done. I did make a statement behind there. I did state that in previous records, when B.O. Cap was the mayor, papers were sent to the legislatures to be, made into record, and I do have a copy of that, what I was quoting from, where they did, and that was back in 1968. When they did send over to the legislature, and even when they got ready to increase the number on the board from 3 to 5, they sent it to the governor and to the legislature to get approval for that, and they sent it back. So there is state, so just as well as that's there, I'm quite sure there must be other records related to that board too. Okay.
Thank you.
And what page was that? You said 12 or 15?
It was page 12 at the last statement.
So we have it.
I know that she's, speaking of this now.
With that said, and you want that included into the records, am I right?
Yes.
Okay. With that said, I make the motion to accept the minutes as read with the inclusion of Councilwoman Anna Williams comment.
Second.
The motion is second, roll call please.
Council President Elzada Edwards,
Yay.
Councilor Annie Williams,
Yes.
Councilor Stephanie Johnson Norwood, Councilor George McCall,
Yes.
Councilor Derek Griffin.
Motion passed. Next item.
Public participation and, presentations of petitions. First, we call Ms. Jennifer Price, Groundworks, Mobile County, for Mobile Community, frequency cleanup.
Mr. Prince.
Yes.
Okay, will you state your name and your address and who you represent and why you are coming before the council?
My name is Jennifer Prince. My address is 320 Stanton Road. Is that the address you were speaking of? Thank you. So 320 Stanton Road, Mobile, Alabama, 3617. And once again, my name is Jennifer Prince. I am the youth program coordinator with Groundwork Mobile County. And we are presented today to ask the council for approval and support to host a cleanup on July the 9th. And furthermore, we have sought counsel and advice and other support from various community partners, street captains, the mayor, and staff in regards to the Prichard City of Champions cleanup. And what I have with me today are flyers that support and provide more information about the event. And we spoke with local businesses as well, and they're willing to support and also place our flyers in their windows in support of the community cleanup.
And give the date on that.
The date is July 9th, 2022.
It's a time frame.
The time frame is, it's a day, and the timing is from 8:30 to 12:30 p.m.
8:30.
8:30 to 12:30 p.m.
Everything you get, or you doing to move the order together, everyone, how are you planning to get the people together?
Yes, so from my understanding of the question, is about where people will be stationed. So there are, of course, 5 districts, and each one of those districts will have a station at that location where there are the streets that are needing to be cleaned. So there will be a station at each one of the districts, and then there will also be a localized one station that people will be able to come to and get all of the information, and then we would disseminate to those areas.
is needed, you say July, right? You do have time, you need to have the resolution completed for public use. And that way, because I think, it was stated initially that possibly you all would ask council and administration, to help you out.
Yes.
So, the resolution will be developed, and it will be placed on the council.
Wonderful.
Okay?
Yes.
And I thank you. And I thank you for what you're trying to do.
That's exactly right. And I do have the flyers if we, if you want me to disseminate those. Okay, thank you, Mayor. Thank you for your time.
You will have the open each district at a later date.
Yes, and yes, at a later date, we, will put together it's like a playbook for each, stage, for each district.
If you don't mind, you have enough one that I can get a trial?
Yes, yes. We'll make sure each council member receives a flyer.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, next.
Mr. Scott Lacy, gun violence.
Yes, my name is Mr. Scott E. Lacy. I live at 3822 Rebel Road, Westbrook, Alabama. I want to urge everyone here today to call or write letters to Congressman Jerry Carl, Senators Tommy Tuberville and Richard Shelby to urge them to support legislation that would require all men and women to be 21 years of age or older to own or operate a gun, to undergo a background check prior to buying a gun, and also urge them to support legislation that would ban assault rifles. If we had these laws in place right now, there's a very good chance the shooting massacres that happened at a Texas supermarket in Buffalo, New York, the elementary school in Uvalde, Texas, and other places here in the United States would not have happened. No man or woman under 21 years of age is smart enough or mature enough to own or operate a gun. If you have to be 21 years of age or older to buy a pack of cigarettes or a 6-pack of beer, you should have to be 21 years of age or older to own and operate a gun. A background check, a criminal background check, would ensure that all men and women who has been deemed as mentally crazy by a judge in a court of law, or that poses immediate danger to themselves or others, is not allowed to own or operate a gun. Only men and women who serve in the military or in law enforcement should own and operate an assault weapon. On the other hand, a man or woman does not need an assault rifle with 50 rounds of ammunition or more to go deer hunting with. Here are the numbers for Congressman Jerry Carl, Senators Tommy Tuberville and Richard Shelby. The number for Congressman Jerry Carl is area code 202-225-4931. Once again, the phone number for Congressman Jerry Carl is area code 202-225-4931. The phone number for Senator Tommy Tuberville's office is area code 202-224-4124. Once again, Senator Tommy Tuberville's number is 202-224-4124. The phone number for Richard Shelby is 202-224-5744. Once again, Senator Shelby's number is 202-224-5744. and I want this letter to be a matter of public record.
Okay.
Second, also, Madam Chair,
Thank y'all for letting me speak here today.
if you would, with that information, I think the mayor and council ought to do a joint resolution to forward this to the, sheriff on that information. Put a resolution in place, sign off and send it to.
One other thing I forgot to mention this. I strongly want to urge y'all to act on this very quickly because they're holding hearings on gun legislation in the House of Representatives and in the United States Senate right now. As an old saying goes, if you're going to strike, strike while the iron is hot. Now would be the time to do it.
We want to put that in a motion.
Yes, now make a motion that we, form the resolution and, have it forward to them, ASAP, with the mayor and the council citizens.
I second that. Motion is second, roll call.
Councilor Annie Williams,
Yes.
Councilor Stephanie Johnson Norwood, Councilor Derek Griffin, Councilor George McCall,
Yes.
Council President of the
Yes, motion passes. The next item.
Mr. Rodney Toomer and Mr. Kalinsky Adams, Pushing Peace event.
That's Mr. Toomer and Mr. Adams. You come forward. Your name,
My name is Rodney Toomer,
your address, and your reason for coming before this.
1202 Navajo Road, Mobile. My request is here to use the parking lot across the street from 127 East Love, Georgia Loop, and also requesting $1,000 from each city council member in the district for the Push the Peace event. But I'd like to break down a little bit and just tell you a little something about what we are. My name is Rodney Toomer. I'm the program director for Out4 Entertainment. Out4 Entertainment, we were established in July 2010. That means we're going on 12 years established as a nonprofit. We celebrate Alabama Hip Hop Year, our 15th year this year, where we go into the community and we have a whole week of engaging with young people. As a program director, my job here is to come up with effective programs such as public speaking, communication streaming, ACT training and testing, mentoring, and also credit literacy. If a lot of people know me, they might say, well, he's lives in Mobile, he's not Prichard, he don't have no fight in this. Yes, I do. I have a fight anywhere that there's young black men killing each other. If anybody knows me, I've been in Prichard. And a matter of fact, the building right there across the street or behind Hardee's, I took $12,000 of my own money and I tried to recreate a learning hub for our young people to go there. And unfortunately, I'm not going to mention no names, so we're not here to defame anybody, but I put $12,000 in there. I took the rooms and turned them into HBCU reality rooms. I put a performance hall. I changed and converted the whole building. But unfortunately, the person that was there did other things, had other alternative motive for that. So I lost money, but I didn't worry about that. I tell you right now, I don't care about money. Money don't motivate me. I asked you to give me a classroom and some electricity. And I will show you how to mentor young men. As a young black man, myself, I know what the problem is. It's not the guns. You have to go to the root of the problem. We got a lot of young black men that are hurting and are angry. And I'm dealing with 7 young black men because black men my age will not spend any time with them. They want time. They don't want you to tell them love is not a noun. Love is a verb. That means show me you love me. Don't tell me you love me. So until we are able to deposit love and show them young men and give them some time, that's what they want. And I'm telling you, I know this for a fact because I'm mentoring 7 young men. That means I have to call them every day. That means I have to get them mobility, and even if they just picking up equipment and with me, I'm able to leave seeds in their minds and help them. Right now, I'm working at Peters Park. I'm broadcast university. It's my program for the summer. I teach young men and young women how to produce music, how to produce commercials. I teach them conflict resolution. I teach them about themselves, Black history, which the critical theory, whatever that is trying to deter us from knowing. If you don't know who you are, guess what? You're lost in the sauce. So all I'm telling you is, my main thing for us coming out here to push this piece, I'm trying to recruit young men. I'm trying to recruit and mentor them. I don't care how many. If a young lady comes to me and these young black women are coming to me and they're saying they have young men that are 12 and 13 years old, and guess what they're saying to me? I'm tired. They're saying I'm tired because they don't know what to do because a young lady can't raise a man. So they're tired, so guess what they do? They disengage with these young men, and then they focus on the younger children. So guess what's left for this young man right here? If the mother's not engaging in him and she's not showing him love, guess what he's looking for love for? In all the wrong places. And then that's when the game comes up. So he's looking for that love there. So he's carrying a lot of anger around. So it's nothing for him to look at another black man and say, that nigga, I'll kill him, because he don't see no worth in himself. But I'm here to let you know that it is. We have a foolproof method that I know works because we have data to back up what we're saying. I'm not just up here running my mouth. These young men need our time. They want to see you there. When they come to you and you come to them, they look at us side eye because they're going to see how long is he going to be there. Is he there for a photo op? Is he there just to be get with my mama? This is real talk. So I know I went over my time, but I'm telling you, for all the black men in here, if you now know you have children, still find you a young man and deposit some time. Just spend some time with him. And then it's going to take a minute for those walls of trust to break down, but once they go down, they will trust you, and then they will start speaking to you, and then you can start laying seeds and speaking life into them. That's all they want. Thank you.
Now, because of the fact I think we kind of get into 3 minutes, I need to ask the council to allow him to speak because he is on
I'm
this.
sorry.
Okay? And I have.
Consent.
Okay, you may proceed with your name, address, your reason for coming to the council.
Kalinsky Adams, also known as DJ Dirty Dan, 1111 East I-65 Service Road, Mobile, Alabama. I'm here today for the Push and Peace event. I actually, you should receive a packet. I just want to go through the packet, what you're talking about a little bit. As you know, gun violence is at an all-time high right now. And we just want to be a part of the solution and be a connector for the community. So I just want to make some points that's inside of the packet. And it's a community outreach day. We're making awareness about issues in the community at large. We want to bring resources such as the health department, Project Thrive, and many organizations to this Push and Peace Day. Actually, Push and Peace in PA. We want to be Pacific. We want to bring live music, vendors, dance teams, community leaders, and we are open to any ideas that can help this solution and be a part of this great day because gun violence is unacceptable. What we're asking for is the location right across from the tree, the parking lot. The parking lot right across from 127 East Lovejoy Loop in Prichard, Alabama. I have a great opportunity to speak to Ms. Deborah right across from there and several other business owners, and they are very much in support and open to supporting this event. From each district, we are asking and requesting $1,000. And the reason we're asking $1,000 because of on the next page you'll see the actual budget. Sound stage, we actually want to promote and market and let people know and push it. We're promoting pushing peace. We're tired of the violence. It's unacceptable. And that's in that regard, we need your support. As you see, the budget is $10,000, so we're definitely going out to raise funds, do our nonprofit, and put our own funds up as well to make this a great event. On the page after that, you see our nonprofit letter showing that we're a 501c3, and also insurance, already stating that we have insurance for this event. And on the last page, you'll find who we are and what we do. And as DJ Roski spoke so passionately about, we're all on the same page when it comes to that. And most importantly, we just gotta let the guys in the community that's doing all the bad, this is our community, and we will not stand for that, and we will stand together. And that's why we're here today. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you all. What will you, date again?
It's July 16th.
July 16th, so you have time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that would be the first before the public purpose resolution. And in that resolution, each council member will be able to, state the amount of money they will be. Right? And it will be placed back on the agenda for next week.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. I just want to say, Prichard, Alabama is a great place. It's a city of champions, and we want to see the city be great. So, if any assistance and opportunity for entertainers can help in any kind of way, we're here for you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I need a motion, I make a motion to refer the information, requesting, use of the city property, and also the request for $1,000 per council member, to support the program. So I would like to make a refer to the attorney, Shayana, and attorney Tyler. I need a second.
Second.
The motion is second.
Counselor Ann Williams,
Yes.
Counselor Stephanie Johnson Norwood, Counselor Derek Griffin, Counselor George McCall,
Yes.
Council President Odell Everett.
Yeah, motion passed.
Committee report,
Madam Chair, before we move on, can we go back to, Mr. Scott?
Yeah.
Resolution, is it possible we can get the resolution to, get the attorney to do the resolution so we can get it to, say as soon as possible? Okay.
committee report, Mr. McCall.
Madam Chair?
Yeah.
Got a, big committee report, and, think, over the last 2 weeks, we found out some new information from the county, and the mayor will now, Mr. Green, code enforcement officer, come up and speak on it.
Good afternoon, my name is Sammy Green, I'm supervisor for code enforcement. Coming before you tonight, we have 3 properties that's left, for the 2019, grant, for the demolition grant. The county has changed their, rules as for the city doing the demolition, they wanted us to get it out. So those last 3 was for us to do, but since the county wanted to get them out, I'm asking, the council to, approve, for, bid, to go out and, advertisement, so that we, finish this process.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, as Ms. Green said, they had changed the rules. Now they want both sides, the, vessel and the non-vessel be bid out, so we can move the process, so we won't lose the, grant funds, that, they had allocated for these, projects. We still would be getting some reimbursement, still be some demonstration on it, but they'll cut down on, some of the overtime, also, so that's kind of save the city some, money in overtime. But we'll still have some little overtime with the demonstration part of the paperwork to be taken care of, without the, reimbursed, like, that's great. Motion is to go ahead and put this out for, these out for bids, these 3, properties out for bid. And, the bids would run, on, June the 15th, June the 17th, and June 22nd. May 21st. Bid will close at 4 p.m. and, on June the 21st. And they will open the following day on June the 22nd and be referred to the council to, award the bid on June the 23rd, that Thursday. No council meeting.
I second that motion. Okay, motion is second, roll call please.
Councilor Annie Williams,
Yes.
Councilor Stephanie Johnson Norwood, Councilor Derek Griffin, Councilor George McCall, Council
Yes.
President Osia Evans.
Yeah, motion passed. Thank you, Mr.
Okay, these three properties, in question is 910 West Winnie Lane, 716 Short Street, and 3439 Strobel. Those be the three that's left.
Okay, make sure that to the paper. Thank you.
Also, Madam Chair, with the bid, we're gonna, next Thursday, put out the, bids for the municipality sidewalk and also the other grant sidewalk. We're just gonna go ahead and put both of them out at the same time. And, so we can move forward with that because the time is getting short. With that, also, so we will not lose those funds to do those projects. That's it.
We want it to be inclusive as far as the first bid for.
No, ma'am, I'm gonna have that ready for next Thursday to go out, and we'll have the date sheets
Okay, so you first gonna be able to.
next Thursday.
Okay, thank you.
That's the other grant sidewalk in this county. Sidewalks,
Anything else?
that's, including the, bid for the report. Just, financial, this, I guess the financial report, because we did, mention on the financial report, and a while back, you know, we, had the water board to, do the, sign on with ADEC. And, I did get a stats, on that, and, they still waiting on the funds to be drawn down from ADEC, so we can, move forward to our facility. I should get, another report by tomorrow, Monday, so we can have something in depth when the programs will actually start. We're gonna, check on it on tomorrow, first thing Monday, and get back with us, so we can pass the information on.
What's that money?
That's for the, health assisted, the low moderate income, residents with the water bills that's, unable to pay their water bill, they help them out, and they do have to qualify, through the same process through Mobile Community Action.
You want that money?
Yes, ma'am.
Another representative, can I have this say?
Consent.
Consent.
Said, it's in the report.
Old business now, Councilor Annie Williams.
The first one was with the water board members, we're back at this again, and we can get a resolution on this. I know Attorney Harris was not here last week. He had requested, without a flow over into the second one, he had requested all the paperwork, that, the city clerk could find that it relates to the water board. So he and, Attorney, Moshe Dollars could come up with a resolution that we can get this put into law, so we will have some rules and regulations, how we select these members on that board, if that will continue to exist.
Okay, I think we have some other, what's that, another record?
I haven't really, I haven't received any additional documents that I did earlier, but I don't know if that request was made its way, the last request was made its way. But, I would have to with all of them.
I think last week, did you say he had, you gave him all, had all the records you had?
Yes, ma'am, the minutes that he had requested, that was gonna be a deal.
That's one minute, so that's a different matter. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That matter would change to litigation.
Okay.
So we're talking about two different things here.
I don't think she received that request. I think we did make a request for records before, happened before the time. She was referred to a matter that I asked for last week, I think, week before. And I have received those documents. But that didn't relate to this issue that we said.
So we discussed this and she received it, because I remember her saying that she did. And she stated that she gave it to them. You were talking about the litigation minutes, but we were talking about the water board. He wanted everything that was related to the water board, so we can come up between he and Attorney Donald could come up with a resolution. And it was perfectly stated that that's what he was asking for. And I understood her to say that she gave him that information.
Now, it was my understanding that we were discussing what you had requested, which was the minutes, because I remember Ms. Williams saying that November 2019, 2020, and 21, and I did relate to her that I did give those to you, I gave them to you immediately. But as far as anything related to the water board, I do remember being asked to look and see if I could find anything else relative to the water board. And I reported that I had not been able to find anything. And other than that, I don't have record of anything else as far as the water board.
For my clarification purposes, would you please, Ms. Manning, identify specifically what is being asked of the water board? Maybe if that clerk cannot provide it, then maybe I can give it to you. So if I know specifically what we want.
I think the request has been before that we're trying to figure out who's been appointed, when they were appointed, so we can determine, when the term expired, et cetera. And also how is the appointment process. This is changing back and forth with that. So I had made a request generally for all resolutions referring to the water board, so I can take them and sort out from all of it where we really are.
Got it. All right, so the ministers have reported that once before. I have it, I will give it to you.
So, back to the water board member, this is very important to me because I feel that this needs to be addressed and it needs to be taken care of. And a resolution needs to be done so we can have some legal issues. And then, I see we're going back and forth, but I don't see where the misunderstanding come from, because I sit right here and they're asking for that. And that's what he asked for, everything pertaining to this water board. This is a big issue and it needs to be addressed immediately, like all these other things are being addressed here too. But, hopefully we can get some conclusion, because I remember Attorney Donald said she looked at 2 cases that was in circuit court that could help out with this. But this is important, not saying these other resolutions are not important, but to me, this is a very important thing. Because the last resolution I saw, Mr. Griffin was the president. And I have that when they passed it out. But I don't want this to be lost in the shuffle, and it seems like it's not that important, but it's important to me.
And Madam Chair, if I will. This same information, once again, has been provided once before, but I haven't, and I will provide it to you. One question, because when we say everything doesn't break it down enough for me to give you everything that you want, but it's specifically the case laws that has already been done. It goes back much further than that, as it relates to this water board. And so I do have those, and I will provide it. I have it in the folder. As a matter of fact, I may be able to get it to you before we end here today. So I want you to have it. And Ms. Williams, I want to make sure that when I hand it back, that we all see what it is and understand this is what we look for, this is what we want. So I will provide it.
Will you provide that to all the council
All,
members?
yes, ma'am. Certainly.
Thank you. seen the flowers, but, the committee has went through great lengths to have a good, Juneteenth celebration. And we're talking about dollars. And if people know where they came from, maybe they, that may ease up on their balance, because they will realize how important they are in this world. And, the city of Prichard had one last year, I did attend it last year, and it was a very good celebration, and I understand that they are going to have an even better one this year, and I'm looking forward to it. Get your children involved in where they came from and everything, because it comes a time people want to know where they came from originally. So I'm just asking all the citizens to come out. We know it's Father's Day. Some of us don't have a father. But if you have a father, bring them out here. And I understand that we will have a lot of historical things for us to look at. And that's all I wanted to say, that how important it is to know where we come from.
I think you have and they elaborate.
It's not important about the Juneteenth, but the one about the water board, I want that name to matter.
Madam Chair. I just want to share with everybody, if you're familiar with the history of Juneteenth and the door of no return, I'm excited because here in the city, from Benin, Africa, have arrived the door of return, which is the duplication of the door of no return. And it's actually here in the city, and it will be on display here in the city during the Juneteenth celebration. So I wanted to take the opportunity to share that with all of you.
Mr. Harris, who's up for it?
I didn't, introduce last week, I didn't, no one, contact me about that, I didn't have any questions.
There has been two council members. More than in time, that the person up there has to be done regarding it. So we did get it, there's a PowerPoint on it. I would like to introduce this as a motion, to put it up for a vote. And I need a second.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to introduce the ordinance for the food truck ordinance.
I need a second.
Second.
The motion is second, roll call.
Councilor Williams,
Yes.
Councilor Johnson Norwood, Councilor Griffin, Councilor McCall,
Yes.
Council President Amir Edmonds.
Yes, motion passed. Now, I will make a motion as for acceptance to adopt. To adopt. I need a second.
Second.
Motion is second, roll call.
Councilor Williams,
Yes.
Councilor Johnson Norwood, Councilor Griffin, Councilor McCall,
Yes.
Council President Edmonds.
Motion passed. Next item, please.
The resolution for the insurance for the city of Prichard.
Have you received that information as far as the resolution? Actually, the only thing that needs to be done was for the mayor to sign, health insurance, thing. Now, Mayor, you have that in your hand, not correct? It was provided to you? That's it.
Resolution? Let me see this,
Now, I was asking for the application agreement. You should have had that. Yeah. also you, did you receive that, Mayor? You did. The app, I believe.
I saw it, earlier today. Again, I just shared, what does not exist as it relates to it. Once that's done, then I'm good.
There's a resolution, as it relates to the health insurance. And so I need a motion.
So moved.
If your motion, not second, roll call.
Councilor Williams,
Yes.
Councilor Johnson Norwood, Councilor Griffin, Councilor McCall,
Yes.
Council President Edwards.
Yes, motion passed. Mrs. Would you please read the head on that resolution? Yes, sir.
Which one? The one for the
Yes.
Okay. A resolution approving the employee health insurance plan with Blue Cross Blue Shield and authorizing the mayor of the city of Prichard to execute the same.
Thank you. Okay, next item.
And this is training the city clerk.
That is, the next week. If you don't want to wait,
New business municipality conference, President Edwards.
yes, this is the conference for our council attorney that we would have to really need to attend. And, that is going to be a work, Lord, okay? And it is a need for him to attend this particular. It will be in September, and I know it's good in order to ensure that we have the necessary paperwork that needs to be done, reservations, and so forth. It will be from September this month, on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. So as a reminder, action item that we should keep in mind. Thank you. And I'll bring that back before the council. In order for you to accept or not accept. All right, thank you. Next item.
The resolution, National Incident Management System. This is TJ Petway.
That's right. Would you like to come forward with a map? This is okay to have in the console. Thank you. And you did get the resolution.
We got the updated resolution we sent out today.
Sir,
The resolution was sent out today, the updated version.
and we did, the resolution is, we did get it. Thank you.
Yeah, this was a resolution pertaining to the FEMA notification number that the city need to have for the upcoming season, for the storm season, just in case we have a storm. We'll be able to enter into that system to kind of claim for stuff.
You all did receive the resolution, and it is something that needs to go to what the state.
Yes, ma'am.
So that, you won't be left out of the loop. So I make a motion as far as the chapter. The resolution to be signed and submitted to them.
So,
Motion and second, roll call please.
Councilor Williams,
Yes.
Councilor Johnson Norwood, Councilor Griffin, Councilor McCall,
yes.
Council President Edwards.
Yes, motion passed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Transfer plus parking on city streetways and private property, Councilor Williams.
Councilor Williams.
I brought, this one up and I saw, definitely a big increase in these transfer trucks parking on Prichard streets, tearing them up. I even had to address one that was on the street that we had just resurfaced. and they're parking on yards, if you go down 45, especially over there by the, fruit stand where it was, they're parking all over there, they're parking across the street from there. They're parked up on Shelton Beach Road, back out over in lots that belongs to people. And I just wanna know, what are the code enforcement for these trucks parking, in these places, like they're tearing up, people property and tearing up streets that we just had resurfaced with no respect to what has been done in this city, and that's very disrespectful.
I would like to add something, you allow me. Actually, I am right on the furniture West Main Street. And I'll be honest with you, the truck starts rolling itself. And really, you can't even rest. It just, one, it's the dump truck, it is the 18 wheeler. I just had an incident where a citizen was complaining, not necessarily a problem. Where it is, if you go up on West Main, right there, the old Jack Costco, where, you turn into the, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 cars on an empty parking lot. One was parked where you come in from east going west on Route to West Main, was parked on the right side, and people had to be rushed out into the street in order to see, you know, visibility to. So, I don't know whether or not seeing exempt lots and businesses and so whatever, I don't know whether they plan to park in these areas or what they are.
But what could be done about it? Do our code enforcement address that?
The information as far as the trucks traveling in the inner city of the city of Prichard, the ordinance was drafted, it was a team that went out in order to look at how the truck routes are going to be going out, which was quite gratifying. And the way that they had it, and described how it should be done, it was for all the trucks that would travel on the outer perimeter of the inner streets. In other words, could not come into the inner streets unless they were doing business in the city of Prichard. The problem with that has been trying to get, because right now, I have to say this for the police department, they can probably stop an accident to move. That would be an awesome job for them. But the problem is getting, how do we expect them to stop and right up to the. That is what we have tried to get for months and we have not been able to get. Law enforcement was supposed to get that information, and that was what was needed in order to get it to the attorney, in order for it to be put in a draft form and sent out to the council members. So that's it. I didn't work in that for, it's been now over a year. Yeah.
Well, what can we do to get that expedited? Because we work on things, we go over things from one week to the next, we get them done. Meanwhile, these people are tearing up our streets. If they can come to the citizens' property and give them code enforcement letters and things, can't we do something to get these people off our street? We had a young lady in there trying to open up a truck stop. They could, no, this is not where I'm going. I'm talking about these trucks parked on the street. And I just brought up about her being here. Your love is full and they can't go anywhere. They can't stay here and tear up our property. But this is not where it's going. By me bringing her name up, the thing is that if you go up 45, the trucks are there. We resurfaced Walter Street and I had to literally go down there and find out who owned that truck and call them personally and have them to move. And then just because I bring up something, it's not to lead into nothing else. is to get our streets straightened up. And we're talking about funding, this to be funded for us. If you went down there and put tickets on those big trucks tearing up, and somebody on, Babcock, and I think that's in your district, put big, tree trucks along there to keep them on their property, but they moved that and parked right on up in there.
So that area.
So we need to get together and get this taken care of, and it's not because of this bridge memorial that I brought that up. This is not where it's going, it's going, these trucks are tearing up our streets.
Because I have tried religiously to get that information only, as for what can the policeman as far as right with people. At this point, it's told as far as for me, they cannot write a ticket if the ordinance is not done completed and passed. So that's where I, that's where I. Okay, so, Frank, can you tell me exactly, because the police department was the one that was the orders, made that stated if they get that information, I have requested it repeatedly, I have not. So, tell me how to not.
I will get with these sheets, what we have, what orders we have, what we don't have.
Yes, sir.
Well, let me just clarify a few things. First off, police department for Title 13 and Title 32, as it relates to even that. There is a route in which trucks can take, which is given. Anything beyond that, it is council who sets the legislation as it relates to what action the police department is going to enforce. So if the council so choose to, as it even relates to private property, if you write it in, then the police can take such action. Looking at what we're dealing with, and it is as long as the container place downtown, what is it, the court, they're stacked up like the Empire State Building now. And that job opportunity, these guys are gonna get these trucks, they're gonna put them wherever they can. You don't even know what's in them. But until we have set some rules to what council wants to see and legislate those rules and put them in place so that they can enforce it. The police only gonna enforce what they have. And that's Title 13 again and Title 32. That's it. So I'll say the council, if the city wants to, the council would like to, you can set a city citation that can be placed on those, and the money go directly to the city. As it relates to wherever they are. But you gotta write it. You gotta put it into some written form so that the police can take whatever action that's necessary related to it. So I strongly suggest, and Esquire, that we can share what Title 13 and Title 32 may have. But in addition to that, really looking at our situation, and they are parking all over the city, and they are tearing up private properties in other places as well. But as you know, we cannot go upon private property. But we can enforce the fact that if they own that private property and they don't have an operation license to have such thing, and we can do it that way as well. But we need to have it in some written form so that we can enforce it from the council.
So what I'm hearing you say is that it's not lying in the police hand, it's lying in the council hand, and we have to make the judgment call on that and give it to the police for them to carry it out. That's what I'm hearing you say.
That's right. I always say that we should put light into our ordinances and what have you. And without having violated, that's what we're gonna end up with. What we're gonna do, put a state ticket on it. And we only get a small portion of that when it comes to that. But if you write it in there so that the city citations that we can place on that, and you can take it whatever amount that you like. I think that would be a great deterrent. They get a ticket for $500, $1,000 for a ticket for parking wherever they are parking. It'll get their attention.
So will.
I will repeat what I said. The ordinance committee was made up of the person from inspection department, a citizen, a person from the police department, which was the chief, myself, along with anyone else who wanted to be a part of the ordinance committee as far as coming and giving input. I will restate what I said. When we develop, went out and it took twice to look at the truck route. The only thing that was missing was the amount of money for a unit and the police department stated that there was a certain amount of money, not to go above or below, and that amount, that information is going to be brought to us, and I have repeated it. And what you're saying to me there has never been stated as far as the reason why. But that is the reason why the board is not approving, and I agree. That is what happened in Board 1. We have worked on that ordinance for, I know it's been 2 years, waiting on just that particular information. That is what happened.
Madam Chair, I will say last, that you can have whatever committees you like, dealing with whatever matter for the city. At the end of that course, it is in the hands of council to whatever decision, based upon what you have and don't have, it's up to council to conclude whatever that is.
Next item.
When can we get together to see about getting this, ordinance? Because we put things on the table, we push them, we go to the other. I would like to see this ordinance completed, because if the city can get funding, you got trucks out there, and it's not that they're traveling on the street, I'm talking about the ones parked. And they have taken containers off of their truck and then put them all along 45. And that's disrespect to this city.
And you don't know what's there.
That's what I know.
Yeah.
Anything else to say?
When can we meet to get this ordinance to the city?
I will, when I said,
Will that be anytime soon?
Oh, boy, that's crazy.
Will it be anytime soon?
All we need is a date, man. Don't skip
Going
over.
over stuff, but we need to close out some things up here.
you know, let me just say this, I only can close out when I get the legal advice. I only can do that. I'm not a legal, I'm not a legal.
There's an attorney sitting right next to you.
I'm not.
Attorney sitting right there.
And I'm not gonna close the line to put something.
I know you're not an attorney, Deborah, but I'm simply asking, when do you have a meeting regarding, that's what I'm asking.
Okay, next item is,
When can we have a meeting regarding the transfer truck
okay,
payable?
you can call the meeting on special council meeting, takes 2 people.
It takes 2 people.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you can do it, okay?
I'll
Because
hold
I
it.
have done my best, and, as far as, getting information, the only thing that I can do is request, I'm not.
We don't have to be a lawyer, but we're gonna have to put our foot down with some things. These people coming in here tearing about the city, and we don't have the funding for these things too. So we just can't let stuff keep going by, but since it's 2 of us, if I can get another council person, we're gonna have to move some stuff. And these people coming in here, this is funding we can have for the city, and if they get $1,000 ticket, I bet they wouldn't pause it. That's disrespectful. They're not pausing down in Mobile like this. No,
Yeah.
and Sarah Lane.
Cause it's fines for it.
We can't let these folks come and just walk all over us in the country. Move on to the next item, I'll call the meeting.
Any other new,
Okay, next item.
any other new business? Any other new business? Any other new business from anyone, please? Items too late.
Next item. One of the things about being new, I have an email, and that was not only for myself, but all council members, administration, I send it out to all. Unless it is an emergency see, it would not be accepted. It has been a trend
Thank you.
that I know in my research that things have been in a timely fashion to get it out. And it has not. But would you please hand me that, that is, what is that?
This is the letter we gave.
I know what,
This is the letter we wanted to read,
okay.
and I didn't know what you wanted to do.
Okay, that's okay. That could be on the own business. I would like for the council to allow me to call Ms. Lorraine Green in the house, please. Yeah, I have to please come to the podium. And I have the answer to, Ms. Green. She was on the agenda for last week. And there were a number of questions that were asked. So I would like for the clerk to read that, please. And rather than reading it, please hand her a copy, because that's what she requested.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Memo to Ms. Lauren Green from Councilwoman Osea Edwards, date June 8, 2022. Questions regarding questions to ask by a member of the interview committee. On June 2nd, 2022, Ms. Lorraine appeared before the council with a list of questions in reference to the selection of the city clerk. There were 4 questions submitted by Ms. Green to all council members. The answerable questions I had knowledge of were answered by me, Councilwoman Osea Edwards. I will attempt to answer the questions that I have knowledge of and submit to Ms. Green, and also to be made a matter of record. I will utilize the list of numbers submitted by Ms. Green with an attachment of her questions, and they are: 1, a complete package submitted to me by the personnel board was given to each person on the interview committee, including our council members. I expressed in the packet, it was stated, the starting salary. Number 2, our council members were given the opportunity to interview all 8, including the final 2 selected by the interview committee. I personally called each council member to ask them whether or not they would like to interview, and all, with the exception of 1, stated no. The 1 was given the opportunity. I informed all 8 via telephone and or email. I have no knowledge of this statement. The last statement is noted on the information list regarding the question of integrity, honesty, and fairness. Speaking for me only is not a true nor fair statement. During this process, I did all I could to maintain the aforementioned statements. Respectfully submitted, Osea Edwards, Council President, City of Prichard, Alabama. Ms. Green.
Now, I would like for that to be made a matter of record.
Yes,
Thank you.
Mayor's report.
Yes, ma'am, Madam Chair, follow up, regarding one, resolution for the, fitness court. We needed that resolution signed and, we had a scheduled time frame to submit it on Wednesday. Next scheduled time frame now to submit it with the leniency of, 2 days, is now tomorrow morning, Friday. So we're just requesting that the resolution be, signed and returned to administration for submittal, in the morning.
I did give to all council members as far as a copy of the resolution. Also, I will place on your desk or give it to you as far as a breakdown as far as the cost. In order stated $50,000 that Blue Cross and Blue Shield, would grant to the city. And the local amount is stated was $92,000. So in a breakdown that I asked, because the only one to give me the exact was the project manager. You have before you, and do you have a copy of QBU? Yes. Okay, which you read, and this is whatever, when it goes up for vote, you have that information. When it goes up for a vote, then I will also ask you to include this particular addendum to the resolution. So, will you please read it?
A resolution authorizing the adoption and allocation of funds for an outdoor fitness court as part of the 2022 National Fitness Campaign to residents and employees of the city of Prichard, Alabama. Whereas the governing body of the city of Prichard, Alabama finds and determines that the following have been or will be taken. Whereas the city of Prichard has submitted a grant application to National Finance Campaign for participation in their 2022 initiative to install and activate outdoor fitness courts in 200 cities and schools across the country. And whereas the city of Prichard will accept a $50,000 national grant from our NFC grant committee and statewide partners, and will provide a local amount of $92,350 to promote and implement a free to the public outdoor fitness court. And whereas the Google Meet video conference call on June 2nd, 2022, with the following attendees: Mr. Rudy Portoff, Partnership Development Manager, NFC, Ms. Gloria Cox, Partnership Development, Ms. Stephanie Norwood, Councilwoman District 2, Mr. TJ Petway, Director of Public Works, Ms. Renetta Ward, Park and Recreation, Ms. Valerie Dozier, Finance Director, Ms. LaTanya Wilson, Grant Compliance, and the Chief of Staff, Mr. Rodney Clemens. And whereas the financial breakdown as follows: project cost $142,350, less the grant $50,000, balance $92,350, optional graphics $25,000, total $117,350. And whereas the city of Prichard will secure supplemental funding as needed through community sponsors, which will be made available and committed to this program for the purchase of the outdoor fitness court. And whereas the city of Prichard will commit to construction and launch of the outdoor fitness court by the end of the 2022 calendar year. And whereas the city of Prichard believes the outdoor fitness court is an important wellness ecosystem that supports healthier communities, commits to fundraising to participate in NFC's 2022 campaign, and will earn local and national recognition as a leader in providing affordable health and wellness. And now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Prichard, Alabama as follows: collaborate with NFC to implement the outdoor fitness court and make fitness free to community residents and visitors. This resolution shall become effective immediately upon its adoption as required by law.
Chair, that's all I was gonna ask, did you, do this, turn the hair?
If I,
I was asking, turn the hair, this one here. Yeah, that's not the one you looked at. This is the one she was reading.
the reason why I hesitate is because this is not the resolution that the council, but it has been read. I don't know
the resolution you turned in, Ms. Elwood, with the addendum. You turned it in earlier to the Mayor Garden's office. It was 3 pages you submitted. One of them had the addendum. You said you wanted it to be included with the information that's provided.
I haven't had that conversation yet. I have not. It's a lot. I have not.
That's just the one that we got on 3 pages. But it was also submitted via email, as well.
This, I have not had a conversation with you on this. This is the first that I heard. The resolution that was submitted by us.
That was the one that was adopted last week.
So we haven't seen it. Have you seen it?
This is the first time I've seen it.
Have you seen it?
I said, this is the first time I've seen
First time you saw it. Have you seen this?
it. I seen the one we
So
adopted
you,
last week.
no, I asked you prior to this, because I said this, one, have you seen this? This, I tell you what, I gave my reason why I did not support it, so I tell you what, let me
Did
just
we
add.
adopt that, resolution last week?
We did.
So what's this resolution for?
Ms. Elwood submitted it to us just moments ago. Mayor Gardner received it. I can bring the original documentation, Ms. Elwood, but it's 3 pages you just handed Mayor Gardner. And that 3 pages included the meeting you wanted to add, that included all personnel, and then it also included the financial breakdown. So we
You know
just,
what, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna entertain.
yes, ma'am.
This document, this is total untrue what you're sitting there and said I sent. I did not send that document to you, so I need to do this.
I didn't say you sent it to me, you just handed it to Mayor
No,
Gardner.
I didn't hand you anything, I knew what I had to do. I had the same thing. To each council person, I laid the same thing on the desk out there. And what I gave Mr. Lawyer, it was not a resolution, sir, that you gave to the city clerk to read. I never saw that resolution.
No problem, Madam Chair. We just asking for the signature of the adopted resolution.
This is. This is a resolution on,
That's a great question.
I did not say.
I'm not sure who prepared it, but the conversational piece, I can bring the original document from Ms. Evans if you'd like me to, but there's a separate piece of paper that was submitted, to Mayor Gardner on the financial breakdown of the things that need to be added as an addendum. And I assume you brought it with you, but someone brought it to Mayor Gardner's office that this needs to be changed on the resolution. The resolution was given, it was said to be added to the resolution that was adopted last week for preparation up to that.
This is not what I stated, I'm gonna cut it out.
No problem, sir.
Only thing that I did was hand it to the mayor's executive secretary. And what I handed to, I sent this one, which is not what you are showing today. I never saw this, so.
I got you.
The other thing that I sent, because of the fact, to break down what was in my document that I got down, I asked, and the only person to break it down for me was a project manager. And the project manager broke it down for me to attach it when the resolution was passed, this one, not the one that you stated. When this was passed, that the council would also include in the motion to, include the addendum and attach to this document. I never saw what you said.
No problem, that's not an issue. We just needed the signature for the adopted
That
resolution.
I never saw, and I want the record to reflect this, okay? I never saw this document until right now.
You saw that breakdown, you just hold it.
The breakdown is what I had.
That's what we're.
I got it from the project manager, sir.
That's
I
what-
got it, and not this long, thick document that you gave me, which is the fitness same thing, national fitness. This is the one that I submitted to council members, to administration, along with the breakdown.
Right.
Okay, that's it, that's it.
Madam Chair,
Is
only
that,
thing
you wanna
we need
make a
to,
motion?
it's already been motioned on last week.
Right.
Okay,
So why we gotta make it?
because of the addendum of the
So we making
breakdown
a
needs to
motion
be.
to add the addendum to the resolution that we, okay.
That's
I make a, motion that we added them to the, resolution that was, adopted on, last Thursday, June the 2nd.
That's it, done. So I need a second. I
So
need a
all
second.
that other stuff was for.
Madam Chair.
Motion and, excuse me. There's been motion and second. Roll call, please.
Council Annie Williams,
Yes.
Council Stephanie Johnson Norwood, Council Derek Griffin.
Yay.
Council George Paul,
Yes.
Council President Bill Evans.
I abstain due to the fact that it's on record, my opinion is to why that it was a problem. Okay, I have notified, making a record, previously, prior to last week, I had a conversation with Mr. Rodney on my concern, I had a conversation with the project manager on my concern, and as far as Mrs. Ward, who is superintendent over park and recreation, I also related that information to, I need that matter.
So let me ask a question in this resolution, cause I know we approved it on, I got on my notes here, June the 2nd. So we will be having this signed right here into the resolution. Okay.
And this, that's all we need is the signature. But it was due Wednesday, so we need the signature either tonight, so we can submit it, because we submitted that to the council as well. Mr. Rudy asked about where that resolution was, and we were behind schedule as it is. So we can get that signature tonight, Ms. Evans. I'm sure we can get Mayor Gardner to sign, as well. So we can go ahead and submit that tonight or first thing Friday morning. But we still haven't gotten the signature. That's what we need.
There's no problem as far as the council passed it. Okay, I will sign it before, no problem with doing that.
Thank you,
But
Madam Chair.
what you gave me, I never saw that document, I never saw it.
Understood.
I mean, none of the councilmen did that, I don't know about Mr. Williams.
I have a copy of it, but I don't know when I got it, but.
I got it to that right now, I got it to that, right? I never seen it.
Just to create some kind of continuity, Ms. Evans,
Okay.
if we asked last week if these things can be emailed, because the passing of information via a hallway or through a council secretary, it can get dismembered. So to avoid and evade who didn't get it, who did get it, we're just asking that those things be submitted in email, and that way we'll know who got it and what we're responsible for. Because if it's given one way, we may not know, it may not come. But then in light that it came from somewhere, we're assuming that it's done, because it's a resolution form, and it has the information that you submitted as an agenda. So we're only left to the assumption that Ms. Edwards did it, and we're okay with it, and we were just asking for a signature. So moving forward, if we can do what we agreed to last week and submit it via email, I know that will help us out a lot.
Okay, you can say you said it's all you want. But
Yes,
what you did was try to put in a document, because you knew that had not been sent to me or given. And some of them got it, I don't know how they got it. Mr. River didn't get it, I did not get it, Mr. McCall did not get it. So any type of talking you're doing, smooth talking, doesn't work in this particular situation, so. Okay, so,
Sounds great.
excuse me,
Yeah.
no. Where are we now? Only thing we wanted to do, Mr. Lucian, is include, the agenda to be attached to the already had resolution.
Yes, ma'am.
You ready for the next item on the mayor's report,
Uh,
Madam Chair?
Don't do that, do not interrupt, okay, wait just a minute.
Okay.
I'm trying to get this straight.
No problem.
Okay? All right. Do we need to make a motion on that?
Man, we were in a school or something?
We already, voted
Damn,
on
yeah, like running her daycare student.
to the, resolution that was presented and, adopted on last, Thursday, June the 2nd. We already voted on.
Yeah.
Yes, we already voted.
That one page, it's on that one page.
Got one page to be attached. Okay. All right. Thank you. That's right.
The second item was the item that was issued to the administration in collaboration with Mr. just to update you, we did get information, and so we told you about that information, so I think, if you have any other questions, we'll be happy to submit that information to you, regarding, legendary farm. That was an item pushed to the administration, so those items that were requested by the council have been included.
Y'all did.
Yes, sir. And then the third item was,
Yes, the council president. She always get like that with the chief of staff. Almost every week.
Yes, sir. Not a problem.
That's
She really be trying to handle that, man.
For the council last week.
Like a child.
Last week, the environment on St. Stephen Road. And we did talk with the state and forward to the administrator to go ahead and take care of that, make sure the location was on property, where she could go ahead and do application with the state. And they send us back a report and before we can issue her a city license.
And the last one was we still missing the public purpose resolution for Mr. Doc Bracy. He reported to the council approximately 3 weeks ago regarding a public purpose resolution for a slingshot festival on July the 30th. He did call the administration office and wanted to know the status of that public purpose resolution for July the 30th.
That's the one over here outside of the stadium.
Mr. Doc Bracy.
Anything else?
Just needed to know the status of that public resolution, public purpose resolution.
July the 19th,
July the 30th, Madam Chair.
you have time, I'm sure. The attorney is inundated. By administration referred, for resolutions, public purpose, resolution or whatever. I still say, in the definition of a city attorney, it gives them also for their duty, task, to develop resolutions and orders also, and other documents. And I wish you would talk that on the good there, right? And you also will, okay? Because he is giving information from all 5 documents to develop, city council people. He's getting from citizens, wanted to have it done. So, me, as far as I'm concerned, and I know what's gonna be stated, because always this is put before our face. When the council is responsible for documents and so forth, property and so forth. But also the mayor's office, in that request, they have a city attorney. And if you would pass that along, then maybe you all can help us out with all this paperwork.
So not only would we ask Madam Chair that it be made a matter of record, to avoid a problem like we just had, but if we could, have the council make a motion to vote that we help prepare a resolution and then submit it via the attorney or give us a process to submit, we'll be glad to write resolutions and copy and paste the information from the organization so that it can take some of the weight off, as well. That's the same thing we did with the resolution from NFC, which was the fitness board.
No resolution, but the attorney said she had a work.
So that,
That's what each one are getting paid for.
we just hesitate on going in the area because the council owns buildings and grounds. So when buildings and grounds come into play, we just wanna make sure we have permission. So we'll be more than happy to draft resolutions and submit them to Attorney Harris and CC and council members. I guess we'll just ask for a motion if we could, Madam Chair, for that to be granted on behalf of the council so we can avoid any complication about a draft resolution.
There have been many times, Mr. Rockman, administration, and of course, you for sure have some resolutions. It was according to what they want. So what the president thought.
Well, just because we submitted the NFC resolution and like you said, that's an issue.
Madam Chair,
We want permission.
Madam Chair, what we can, to resolve this, On time as we have to, have a resolution on August, we will make the motion, who that will go to at that time,
Make the motion with this.
at that time.
All right, that is fine, and how you going to address the fact that each time that we do this, it states that the council is responsible for documents, property, that's what we hear all the time. There's no sharing of the book, there's no sharing. But I will take what you say, and we'll try and see what.
Basically what it is, that each attorney can do the resolution or ordinance, but once y'all do the ordinance and the resolution, it need to be forwarded to our attorney, so we can, look it over, make sure everything's correct, if something need to be changed, the two attorneys can collaborate together to make the resolution right, so it would, still be in order of the council. We have control of the ordinance and the resolution, but the administration can present an ordinance and a resolution to the council to review. If any changes need to be made at that time, the council have that right to do any amendment or changes to it.
Thank you, Councilman Paul. So, Councilman Paul, would that apply to this current sequence with, Mr. Dr. Prichard?
Yeah, if y'all come with the resolution, get it to the, try to implement anything we change, we'll do it at that time.
Thank you.
Anything else? You know,
Just make it a valid record.
We got a fourth item too, for the mayor's report. The podcast did its fourth episode today. We want to still continue to extend the invitation out to council members.
We're gonna find a way to
promote
let it
and
go
advertise
and do
anything
that.
going on in your district, i.e. cleanup, or if you have anything for a special project. So we would like that, to be made another announcement that will make every mayor's report that podcast room is up and running. It's being very successful as it's being.
Yeah, and it's got a lock on the door.
Okay, I have a
They
question.
locked out the big yard J45 morning show.
As
And we
far
don't
as-
like that, Mr. Ratney Clemens and Gardner.
Now, Chair, I think what he's talking about was, included in the budget of the, ARA bonus.
Is where it's coming from?
It's not coming out the general funds.
You're right again, Councilman.
Okay. Anything else? Chris?
I do have one, they say, figure we want to announce, we do have a matter that, needs to be discussed, where we will discuss the name and character of individuals, and that's a matter that can be announced, but should be discussed.
Since this is all that we have as far as on the agenda, the council now, the attorney is asking for us to go into executive session.
Well,
Thank
that's
you
the
all
end of
for
this
coming.
one.
In this way, that you
Meeting
won't
up.
wait for the only thing that you will do when you come out. is go
These
really
signs is
adjourn the meeting.
getting the best of
And I
me.
thank you all for coming.
Anyway, man, that's the end of Thursday Night SmackDown council meeting. And these sinus eyes, I ain't getting along right now. I need to take some more Zyrtex
So,
tonight.
so
But anyway,
call.
I mean, we just
I make the motion.
Thank you. Like I said it.
getting tired of all the back and forth instead of, you know what I'm saying, getting the business of the city done, which don't seem like that's gonna be no time soon. So thank y'all for being tuned in to the Big Y'all J45 Live Morning Show. It's like I'm by control or something here. I don't know what's going on. I'm about sick of even coming. I just come for y'all because I can be at home asleep. So y'all gonna have to motivate me to keep coming or else I'm gonna stop coming. The Big Y'all J45 Live Morning Show, we are out of here. Thank y'all for being tuned in. Please share.